Okay, so today our lesson is going to be some abstract art. We're going to be using movement and repetition, and we're going to be repeating patterns to create this really nice, colorful artwork. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get started. So, let's talk about abstract art. What is abstract art? Abstract art is the modern art which does not represent images of our everyday world. It uses lines, shapes, colors, and form to achieve the effect. So basically, it doesn't look like a realistic painting or drawing. Abstract uses shapes and changes it to make it look a little different. Our learning goal today is I can use repetition and movement to create an abstract work of art. So our art vocabulary for the day is repetition, and repetition is repeating lines, shapes, patterns, or other visual elements in a work of art. Repetition creates movement in an artwork. So if you were to repeat circle, square, circle, square, circle, square, you're creating repetition. Now what repetition does is it creates movement. Movement is another principle of art, and it means the path the viewer's eye takes through a work of art. Movement can be directed along lines, shapes, edges, and color within the art. So for instance, if you're looking at a piece of art and there's a lot of lines going diagonally, your eyes are going to follow that path as you look at the artwork. They are intentional, and artists use them to make you look at the artwork a certain way. Okay, so we talked about abstract art and about how it creates repetition using those lines and shapes. So for the first step today, we're gonna be using a pencil and a ruler or a straight edge. If you don't have a ruler, you can use the side of a book, anything that has a straight edge on it. So what I'm gonna do first is I have to decide which direction I want that movement to be created. Do I want the viewer's eyes to go across the page and have horizontal lines? Do I want the viewer's eye to go up and down using vertical lines? I think today what I'm going to do is some diagonal lines so the viewer's eye will kind of travel across the paper from one end to the other. Now for step one, it's pretty easy and there's no wrong or right way of doing this. I'm basically just going to trace my ruler and create some stripes. Now you can make some thin, some thick. I kind of like to make sure they're in the same direction so I don't turn my ruler like this. I don't want to do that. I want to keep it as straight as possible and make these lines parallel. And remember, parallel lines are two lines that run right across from each other, but they never touch, okay? So they have the same distance in between without touching. Now I'm going to go all the way across my paper creating these lines, staying at a diagonal. Now, if you want to make it more horizontal, you'd be doing this across the paper horizontally. You can do the same with vertical. The more lines you have, the more color you are going to be creating in your artwork. So you want to have a good bit of lines. Okay, this is an important step. I'm gonna go all the way across until I get to the other side. Notice I like when I have some wide and some small. I think it kind of creates interest in the artwork, and it gives you just a little bit of a different effect. So I don't make them all exactly the same. Now, once I have this finished, you need to go and try to find some circle tracers or circle stencils. At school, we have these kind of pre-cut, or we have some for you to use. At home, you may have to get creative. What I did was I went in my kitchen and I looked around for anything that is circular. So I found a cup and I found a lid to some bowls that I have, and I actually found a little round cap to one of the spices I had. So here's the cup, and this is just gonna give us some different size circles. And then the lid is my largest one. That one I'm gonna have to stop and maybe just finish the line itself. And then I have the small one from my little spice. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to set my circle. I start with my largest, and I'm gonna set that on top, and I'm gonna trace around the circle. I'm gonna lift up there and just finish the line on my own. And I think I'm going to do another circle. This is the next size down. And I'm going to trace the cup the same way. This time I can go all the way around. And I'm going to add this one. And I think for this project, I want to put it right in the middle. Go all the way around. Now, I don't want to just have the one circle. I want to kind of use some balance and create like maybe a circle down here just to make it a little bit more interesting. So I'm not going to use the big one anymore. I'm going to start with the middle size circle and I'm going to trace around that. And I think I'm going to add a small one here. Now what I'm doing is I'm creating some areas where the viewer's eye would start going in this direction, but would probably jump around to the circles. And I think I'm gonna do one right inside here. Now, once you're happy with your pattern, you can stop drawing and leave it like that. We're gonna add colors the next step. Okay, the final step for this project is to add color. There are many different ways you can add color. You could either use paint and paint each section a different color. You could use crayons, or you could use colored pencils. For this project, I've decided that I'm going to be using colored pencils. And basically what you want to do is in each section, you want to color a different color. If there's a line going through it, you make each little spot one color. So I'm just going to kind of give you an example and then I'll kind of show you how it's all going to look at the end. So if I were to take this one section here, I want to color the whole shape in. I don't want to go outside any lines, so I'm not coloring over any of the lines as I do this. I want to make sure that I'm filling in just this shape. My next shape, I'm going to do a different color. We don't want any of the same colors touching, so you need to have a little bit of variety. So for instance, for my next shape, I would probably use like an orange or a different color. And I'm going to make sure that I stay in that section. Hopefully this makes sense to everyone. So each different shape is a totally different color. And basically you are going to repeat this until your whole paper is covered and then you have your finished artwork. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna show you what my finished product looks like and I'm gonna get it all colored in and time lapse so you can see it really fast. I hope you enjoy this project. See you soon.